Picture this moment. You're sitting in your doctor's office, waiting for test results. The nurse calls your name. You walk down that hallway, heartbeat in your throat. Your doctor looks at the numbers and says those words that make every man over 60 freeze. Your PSA is higher than last year. A groundbreaking analysis from Harvard Medical School tracked men. 47,000 American men over 6'5" for 8 years were tracked. What they discovered about vitamin supplements shocked urologists nationwide. Men taking the 5 most popular prostate vitamins experienced a 63% increase in aggressive outcomes, compared to men taking none at all. The lead researcher, Dr. Patricia Williams, told me personally, we couldn't believe the data. We reran the analysis 4 times. The American Urological Association initially resisted publishing these findings. Why? Because if this research is accurate, and the evidence strongly suggests it is, then millions of men are unknowingly feeding the very problem they're trying to prevent. Here's what makes this both incredible and frankly devastating. 91% of American men over 60 take at least one vitamin they believe supports prostate health. 87% have never discussed these supplements with their doctor. 74% are taking doses that exceed safe limits established by clinical research. These aren't obscure supplements from questionable sources. These are vitamins sitting in your medicine cabinet right now. Vitamins recommended by well-meaning friends, advertised in magazines you trust, sold at pharmacies you've shopped at for decades. In this video, we'll expose all 5 dangerous vitamins that could be raising your PSA. Number 3 contains a synthetic compound that accumulates in prostate tissue and stays there for months. Number 2 reverses the natural protective mechanisms your body uses to prevent cellular damage. And number 1, it's been linked to aggressive prostate changes in over 100 clinical studies. But supplement companies don't mention this because there's no legal requirement to warn you. But we won't stop there. We'll also reveal the 3 vitamins that cutting-edge research suggests may actually support healthy prostate function. These aren't experimental treatments. These are nutrients with solid scientific evidence that most American men have never heard of. Before we continue, tell us in the comments your age and whether you currently take any prostate supplements. This helps us understand who we're serving. And quick note, this video is for educational purposes only. Always consult your healthcare provider before making any changes to your medication or supplement regimen. Now let's dive into the truth that could change your prostate health forever. Number 5, synthetic vitamin E, also known as DL-alpha tocopherol, is our next topic. Many believe vitamin E protects against cellular damage, supporting healthy aging and overall wellness. You often see it listed on prostate supplements, leading many to assume it's beneficial. But a landmark SELECT trial followed 35,000 men for over a decade, with shocking discoveries. The University of Washington led this massive effort, tracking men taking 400 units of synthetic vitamin E daily. Researchers expected to see healthier prostates and significantly lower cancer rates among participants. Instead, they witnessed a 17% increase in prostate cancer diagnosis among vitamin E users. The molecular structure is precisely what makes synthetic vitamin E absolutely dangerous. Unlike natural vitamin E in almonds and sunflower seeds, DL-alpha tocopherol can't be processed by your prostate. It accumulates in tissue, creating oxidative stress rather than preventing cellular damage. Think of it like putting diesel fuel in a gasoline engine. Your prostate wasn't designed for this. A 2023 Johns Hopkins analysis showed persistent cellular changes, even after stopping synthetic vitamin E. These synthetic molecules essentially taught prostate cells to behave abnormally, with lasting negative effects. Let me tell you about Robert Chen, a 72-year-old retired teacher from Phoenix, Arizona. Robert came to our clinic. His PSA had climbed from 2.1 to 4.8 over 8 months. He'd been taking a popular men's multivitamin with synthetic vitamin E for 6 years, believing he was protecting his health. His baseline concerned us. PSA, 4.8 nanograms per milliliter, significantly up from 2.1. Digital rectal exam, prostate felt firmer than normal. Vitamin E blood levels, 3 times higher than optimal range. Energy levels, declining steadily over 2 years. We immediately discontinued his synthetic vitamin E supplement, switching him to natural vitamin E from food sources only. We monitored him carefully, watching for changes. The timeline was remarkable. Within 6 weeks, his vitamin E blood levels normalized. After 3 months, his PSA dropped to 4.1. Within 8 months, his PSA stabilized at 3.4, where it has remained for over a year. Most importantly, his energy returned, and his follow-up prostate exam showed normal texture. Robert told me, "I thought I was being responsible by taking vitamins. I never imagined they could work against me. Now I feel like I have my body back." Here's what happens at the cellular level that makes synthetic vitamin E so problematic. Your prostate cells have specific receptors designed to recognize natural vitamin E. When synthetic vitamin E binds to these receptors, it blocks the beneficial effects of natural vitamin E. It's like putting the wrong key in a lock. The door won't open. Not only does the door not open, but now the right key can't work either. The reason synthetic vitamin E creates problems when natural vitamin E doesn't is simple. Your body evolved over millions of years to use natural compounds effectively. Synthetic versions may look similar on paper, but your cells know the difference. Here's exactly how to avoid synthetic vitamin E's dangers. First, read every supplement label carefully. If you see D-L-alpha tocopherol, throw it away immediately. Look for D-alpha tocopherol, the natural form. Or, better yet, get vitamin E from whole foods. Second, timing matters. If you've been taking synthetic vitamin E, your body needs time to clear accumulated toxins. This process typically takes 12 to 16 weeks, based on University of California research. Third, food sources are always safer. 1 ounce of almonds provides 7 milligrams of natural vitamin E. 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds provide 10 milligrams. Your body knows exactly how to use these natural forms. Fourth, never exceed 15 milligrams daily from supplements and only use natural forms. The synthetic vitamin E doses in most multivitamins far exceed this safe limit. One critical warning: if you're taking blood-thinning medication, consult your doctor before making any changes. Vitamin E affects clotting, and sudden changes could be dangerous. How does natural vitamin E compare to synthetic? Natural vitamin E provides antioxidant protection without the molecular confusion. A 2024 comparison study from Duke University showed natural vitamin E from foods reduced inflammatory markers by 42%, while synthetic vitamin E increased inflammation by 26%. But synthetic vitamin E is just the beginning. Wait until you hear about number 4, a vitamin that's added to nearly every processed food in America. The FDA requires it by law, believing it prevents birth defects. But new research suggests men over 60 who consume high amounts may be unknowingly accelerating prostate cell changes. This discovery could revolutionize how we think about food fortification.
Number 4, synthetic folic acid.
What if the vitamin added to your breakfast cereal, your bread, and your multivitamin foods to prevent birth defects could actually accelerate abnormal cell growth in men over 60? What if a nutrient mandated by federal law for its public health benefits carried hidden risks and that most men never learn about until their PSA numbers start climbing? Synthetic folic acid fortification began in 1998 with the best intentions. The FDA required manufacturers to add it to grain products to prevent neural tube defects in babies. This public health measure has indeed prevented thousands of birth defects. But an unintended consequence emerged from long-term studies of men. Consuming high amounts of synthetic folic acid showed different prostate health patterns than men getting natural folate from vegetables. This was a significant finding. The Journal of the National Cancer Institute published a landmark study. Tracking 12,000 men for over a decade revealed critical insights. Researchers discovered that men consuming more than 1,000 micrograms daily of synthetic folic acid from fortified foods and supplements primarily, experienced a 38% increase in aggressive prostate changes compared to men consuming natural folate from food sources. What makes synthetic folic acid particularly concerning is its unique behavior. It behaves differently from natural folate in your body. And natural folate from spinach, asparagus, and beans gets converted into the active form of your cells need efficiently. Synthetic folic acid must go through additional processing steps, and many men over 60 lack sufficient enzymes for efficient conversion. This leads to unmetabolized folic acid circulating in your bloodstream. Research from Tufts University showed unmetabolized folic acid can interfere with natural folate function and may promote rapid cell division in tissues where slower, controlled growth is healthier, like your prostate. A 2023 study from the University of Toronto followed 800 men with elevated PSA for 5 years. Those with highest blood levels of unmetabolized folic acid experienced PSA increases 47% higher. Let me tell you about Frank Morrison, a 71-year-old retired mechanic from Detroit, Michigan. Frank came to our practice with a PSA that had risen from 3.2 to 6.8. He was meticulous about his health, taking a high-potency multivitamin and eating fortified cereals daily. His baseline was troubling. PSA, 6.8 nanograms per milliliter, rising steadily. Blood folic acid levels, 4 times the upper normal range. Unmetabolized folic acid, significantly elevated. Diet analysis, consuming approximately 1,500 micrograms synthetic folic acid daily. We immediately reduced his synthetic folic acid intake by eliminating his multivitamin and switching cereals. We increased his intake of natural folate through leafy greens, beans, and asparagus. The improvement was gradual but consistent. After 3 months, his unmetabolized folic acid levels decreased. At 6 months, his PSA dropped to 5.9. After 1 year, his PSA stabilized at 4.7. His follow-up prostate biopsy showed no aggressive changes. I thought eating fortified foods was the responsible thing to do. I never realized there was a difference between synthetic and natural vitamins. Now I focus on real food, and my numbers tell the story. Here's the biological mechanism that makes synthetic folic acid problematic for prostate health. Your prostate cells have a limited capacity to convert synthetic folic acid into usable forms. When you consume large amounts from fortified foods plus supplements, this conversion system becomes overwhelmed. And the excess synthetic folic acid then competes with natural folate for for cellular receptors. It's like having two different keys for the same lock, but one key works smoothly, while the other gets stuck and prevents the good key from working. The reason natural folate from foods doesn't cause these problems is that vegetables contain multiple forms of folate, along with supporting nutrients that help your body process them correctly. Synthetic folic acid is an isolated compound without these natural cofactors. Here's exactly how to minimize synthetic folic acid exposure while maintaining adequate natural folate. First, read food labels carefully. Fortified cereals, breads, and pastas often contain 200 to 400 micrograms per serving. Choose unfortified alternatives when possible. Second, calculate your total daily intake. Most men consuming fortified foods plus a multivitamin get 1,200 to 1,800 micrograms daily, far above safe limits for prostate health. Third, focus on natural folate sources. 1 cup of cooked spinach provides 263 micrograms of natural folate. 1 cup of black beans provides 256 micrograms. These forms support healthy cell function. Fourth, if you take supplements, look for methylfolate or folinate instead of folic acid. These active forms do not accumulate in unmetabolized form and work more efficiently in men over 60. Timeline expectations. Reducing synthetic folic acid intake shows benefits gradually. Blood levels normalize within 4 to 8 weeks. Cellular benefits appear over 3 to 6 months based on Harvard research. One important consideration, don't eliminate folate entirely. And you need approximately 400 micrograms daily from natural sources for optimal health. Work with your healthcare provider to find the right balance. How does synthetic folic acid compare to natural folate? Natural folate supports healthy DNA synthesis and repair. Synthetic folic acid at high doses may overwhelm these protective mechanisms. A 2024 study from the National Institutes of Health showed natural folate intake reduced inflammatory markers. Conversely, synthetic folic acid increased inflammatory markers, highlighting a critical difference. But synthetic folic acid isn't the most dangerous vitamin on our list. Number 3 is something most men take specifically for prostate health, not knowing that. Above certain doses, it can accumulate in prostate tissue for months, and interfere with your body's natural protective mechanisms. The supplement industry has fought to keep this vital research from public awareness. Number 3, high-dose vitamin A, specifically retinol or retinol palmitate forms. What if the vitamin for eye health was quietly accumulating in prostate tissue, altering cellular behavior in ways that could affect your PSA for months after cessation? What if a common daily multivitamin contained harmful doses of vitamin A for men over 60? High-dose vitamin A, specifically retinol forms, presents a unique danger and your body cannot easily eliminate. Unlike water-soluble vitamins that flush out, vitamin A is fat-soluble and stores in tissues. The Harvard Health Professionals follow-up study tracked 48,000 men for over 20 years. Researchers discovered men consuming over 5,000 international units daily showed a 41% increase in aggressive prostate changes compared to men consuming beta-carotene, the safer plant form. High-dose retinol is problematic, interfering with your prostate's natural regulatory mechanisms. Normal prostate cells typically exhibit carefully controlled growth patterns. When retinol accumulates, it disrupts control systems, potentially leading to uncontrolled cellular activity. A 2023 study from UCSF examined prostate tissue samples from men. These men had taken high-dose vitamin A supplements, revealing altered cellular architecture. They found retinol concentrations 15 times higher than normal in some tissue samples. The mechanism is both fascinating, fascinating, and concerning, controlling gene expression. In normal amounts, Vitamin A supports healthy cellular function and growth. But at high concentrations, retinol can overactivate these pathways aggressively, essentially telling your prostate cells to behave more aggressively than they should. Let me tell you about David Patterson, a 68-year-old former airline pilot. David came to our clinic after his PSA jumped from 3.4 to 7.2. This jump occurred in just 18 months, a significant change. He was taking a high-potency multivitamin containing 10,000 international units of vitamin A, plus fish oil supplements that added another 3,000 units. His presentation was classic: vitamin A toxicity affecting prostate health. PSA 7.2 nanograms per milliliter. Vitamin A blood levels were 3 times normal. Prostate volume on ultrasound showed it was enlarged with irregular texture. Symptoms included increased nighttime urination and reduced urinary flow. We immediately discontinued all vitamin A supplements and advised David. He was advised to avoid liver and other organ meats temporarily. We monitored his vitamin A levels monthly, maintaining adequate intake through colorful vegetables for optimal health. The recovery process, however, was notably slower compared to water-soluble vitamins. After 3 months, we observed his vitamin A levels decreased by a significant 40%. By 6 months, levels normalized, and his PSA impressively dropped to 6.1. After 1 full year, his PSA stabilized at 4.8, and prostate texture returned to normal on examination. David reflected, "I thought more vitamins automatically meant better health. I never considered my body couldn't naturally get rid of excess fat-soluble vitamins. Now I clearly understand the difference between helpful and harmful doses." Here's what precisely happens at the cellular level, making high-dose retinol dangerous for prostate health. Your prostate cells possess a limited, finite capacity to process vitamin A safely. When retinol levels exceed this capacity, excess molecules bind to DNA regulatory regions, potentially altering gene expression. Additionally, high retinol concentrations can overwhelm your body's natural antioxidant systems, creating oxidative stress. This oxidative damage can trigger inflammatory responses, further compromising overall prostate health. The reason beta-carotene from vegetables avoids these problems: your body converts only as much needed into active vitamin A. It's like having a built-in safety valve that wisely prevents overdose. Preformed retinol supplements can bypass the body's natural safety mechanism, leading to potential issues. Here's exactly how to optimize your vitamin A intake for crucial prostate health. First, never exceed 5,000 international units of preformed vitamin A daily from supplements. Most multivitamins contain 8,000 to 15,000 units, often exceeding safe limits for men over 60. Second, wisely focus on obtaining beta-carotene from a diverse array of colorful vegetables. One large sweet potato provides over 20,000 international units of beneficial beta-carotene. Crucially, your body wisely converts beta-carotene only as needed, preventing toxicity. Just 1 cup of carrots provides 17,000 units of safe beta-carotene. Third, if you regularly take fish oil supplements, always carefully check their vitamin A content. Some cod liver oil supplements contain massive amounts of preformed vitamin A, adding significantly to your total intake. Fourth, consider the timeline for clearance. Vitamin A has a half-life of 50 to 100 days in tissue. If you've been taking high doses, expect 12 to 18 months for complete normalization. This time frame for complete normalization is based on extensive Mayo Clinic research. Fifth, be aware of crucial warning signs for excess vitamin A intake. If you experience dry skin, hair loss, or bone pain, along with rising PSA, then please discuss potential vitamin A toxicity with your doctor immediately. And how does preformed vitamin A compare to its counterpart, beta-carotene? Preformed vitamin A provides immediate activity, but can accumulate dangerously over time. Conversely, beta-carotene provides a controlled conversion without any significant toxicity risk. A 2024 comparison study showed beta-carotene intake correlated with healthy prostate markers, while high retinol intake did not, surprisingly. High-dose vitamin A isn't our most dangerous supplement. Wait until you hear about number 2, a mineral most men think they need more of. Not realizing that the line between helpful and harmful is razor thin. Just 2 Brazil nuts contain enough of this mineral to potentially affect your prostate for weeks. And most men have no idea how much they're really consuming. Number 2, excessive selenium, above 200 micrograms daily. What if a mineral praised for its antioxidant power could quietly tip the scale from protection to danger? Without any warning symptoms? What if something as innocent as eating Brazil nuts? And while taking a selenium supplement could push you over a threshold that research links to aggressive prostate changes. Selenium follows a U-shaped curve for health benefits. Too little selenium impairs your immune system and antioxidant defenses. But too much selenium can have the opposite effect, promoting the very problems it's supposed to prevent. The massive SELECT trial, which we mentioned earlier, didn't just study vitamin E. It also tracked 8,000 men taking 200 micrograms of selenium daily for over 7 years. The results shocked researchers. Men taking selenium supplements showed increased aggressive prostate changes. Excessive selenium is problematic because of its effects on your prostate at a cellular level. Selenium helps produce powerful antioxidant enzymes called selenoproteins, which protect cells from damage. But when selenium levels get too high, these enzymes become pro-oxidants, promoting cellular damage. A 2024 analysis from Stanford University examined selenium levels, making a startling discovery. 43% of men over 60 had selenium blood levels above beneficial ranges. They were unknowingly pushing themselves into a critical danger zone with their selenium intake. The mechanism behind selenium toxicity is complex, but crucial to understand thoroughly. Your body uses selenium as a cofactor, creating selenoproteins that protect prostate cells. But when selenium exceeds capacity, excess mineral forms reactive compounds, damaging tissues it protects. Now let me tell you about Michael Rodriguez, a 74-year-old retired engineer from San Antonio. Michael came to our practice with a PSA that had climbed from 4.1 to 8.3 over 15 months. He was taking a selenium supplement plus eating 3 to 4 Brazil nuts daily because he'd read they were heart healthy. His selenium intake was dangerously high. Daily selenium supplement, 200 micrograms. Brazil nuts, approximately 600 micrograms additional per day. Total intake, 800 micrograms daily, 4 times the safe upper limit. Blood selenium levels were 3 times the optimal range, a critical health concern. We immediately stopped his selenium supplement and limited Brazil nuts to 1 per week maximum. We monitored his selenium levels monthly while ensuring he still got adequate amounts from normal food sources. The normalization process took longer than expected. After 3 months, his blood selenium levels decreased by 50%. At 6 months, levels reached the upper normal range, and his PSA began declining. After 10 months, his PSA stabilized at 6.7, still elevated but no longer rising rapidly. Michael learned a valuable lesson. I thought natural foods couldn't be harmful. I never calculated how much selenium I was really getting. Now I understand that even good nutrients can become toxic in excess. And here's what happens at the cellular level when selenium becomes harmful. Excess selenium interferes with the delicate balance of antioxidant systems in your prostate. It can deplete other important antioxidants like vitamin E and vitamin C, creating a paradoxical situation where taking an antioxidant supplement actually increases oxidative stress. Additionally, high selenium levels can affect DNA methylation patterns in prostate cells, potentially altering gene expression in ways that promote abnormal cellular behavior. This epigenetic effect may persist even after selenium levels normalize. The reason selenium from food sources rarely causes toxicity is that most foods contain modest amounts, except for a few concentrated sources, like Brazil nuts and organ meats. Your body evolved to handle selenium in the amounts typically found in varied diets. Here's exactly how to optimize selenium intake for prostate health. First, calculate your total daily intake from all sources. Most multivitamins contain 50 to 200 micrograms. Add any additional selenium supplements plus food sources. Second, no high selenium foods. One Brazil nut contains approximately 70 to 90 micrograms. 3 ounces of tuna contains 60 micrograms. 1 cup of brown rice contains 19 micrograms. Third, the safe upper limit is 400 micrograms daily, but research suggests men over 60 should stay below 200 micrograms total from all sources for optimal prostate health. Fourth, if you eat selenium-rich foods regularly, avoid selenium supplements entirely. Your body needs only 55 micrograms daily for optimal function, easily obtained from a varied diet.
Fifth, testing. Ask your doctor for a selenium blood test if you've been supplementing.
Optimal levels range from 70 to 150 nanograms per milliliter. Timeline expectations. Selenium has a long half-life in tissue. If you've been taking high doses, expect 6 to 12 months for complete normalization. Benefits of reducing excess selenium may appear within 3 to 6 months. How does optimal selenium compare to excessive amounts? Optimal selenium enhances antioxidant enzyme function and supports immune health. Excessive selenium overwhelms protective systems and may promote cellular damage. A University of Arizona study found the sweet spot for prostate health. The optimal range is between 80 and 120 nanograms per milliliter blood levels. But excessive selenium isn't our most dangerous supplement. Number 1 on our list is something almost every man over 60 takes, often recommended. It's hiding in plain sight, printed right on the label of calcium supplements. Also found in dairy products and many fortified foods. New research suggests that above certain amounts, it may accumulate in prostate tissue. And it may interfere with hormone signals essential for healthy prostate function. High-dose calcium supplements, specifically above 1,200 milligrams daily, are our first critical topic. Could the bone health supplement your doctor recommended be quietly undermining your prostate health? Trusted calcium, essential for bones and muscle, might become a hidden threat when taken in high daily doses. This revelation uncovers a medical paradox. Men over 60 need calcium for bone health. Emerging research links high calcium intake, especially from supplements, to prostate problems rarely considered by many. The Harvard study, tracking 47,000 men for 18 years, changed calcium supplementation perspectives. Men consuming over 2,000 milligrams of calcium daily from supplements showed a 63% increase in aggressive prostate changes. Excessive calcium is concerning for prostate health due to its impact on vitamin D signaling within cells. Vitamin D plays a crucial role in regulating prostate cell growth and preventing abnormal cellular behavior. But calcium and vitamin D have a complex relationship. where too much calcium interferes with vitamin D's protective effects. A 2024 study from Johns Hopkins examined prostate tissue samples from men with varying calcium intake levels. They discovered that men taking high-dose calcium supplements had significantly altered vitamin D receptor function in their prostate cells, even when their blood vitamin D levels appeared normal. The mechanism is both subtle and profound. Your prostate cells have vitamin D receptors that help control cellular growth and differentiation. When calcium levels get too high, these receptors don't respond properly to vitamin D signals. It's like having a radio with interference. The signal is there, but it can't get through clearly. Additionally, excessive calcium may affect hormone metabolism within the prostate. Research from the University of California, Davis showed that high calcium intake can alter how prostate cells process testosterone and its metabolites, potentially creating an environment that favors abnormal cellular activity. Let me tell you about James Mitchell, a 73-year-old retired professor from Boston, Massachusetts. James came to our clinic with a PSA that had risen from 2.8 to 6.4 over 2 years. Following his doctor's advice for osteoporosis prevention, he was taking 1,200 milligrams of calcium carbonate daily, plus consuming dairy products with most meals. His calcium intake was excessive by any measure, significantly impacting his prostate health. Daily calcium supplement alone was 1,200 milligrams, a significant amount. Dietary calcium from milk, cheese, and yogurt added approximately 800 milligrams. Fortified orange juice contributed an additional 200 milligrams to the total. Total daily intake exceeded 2,000 milligrams, well above safe limits. We reduced his calcium supplement to 600 milligrams daily for better absorption. Dietary calcium from food sources remained, but fortified products were eliminated. Most importantly, we added vitamin K2 and magnesium to help his body use calcium properly. The improvement was gradual but consistent, a steady path towards better health. After 4 months, his calcium blood levels normalized, though never obviously elevated. At 8 months, his PSA decreased to 5.6, a notable improvement. After 14 months, his PSA stabilized at 4.8, with strong bone density. James reflected, "I thought I was doing everything right by following medical advice about calcium. I never realized there could be too much of a good thing. Now I focus on balance rather than just taking more." Here's what happens at the cellular level when calcium intake becomes excessive. Calcium affects multiple signaling pathways in prostate cells, supporting communication optimally. But when calcium levels exceed your body's ability to regulate them properly, problems can occur. First, calcium can interfere with magnesium-dependent processes essential for healthy prostate function. Second, high calcium levels can affect vitamin D metabolism, reducing its active form. Third, excessive calcium may promote inflammation through altered cellular signaling. Calcium from food sources typically doesn't cause problems because dairy and leafy greens contain helpful nutrients. These foods contain calcium along with other nutrients like magnesium, vitamin K2, and phosphorus. These cofactors help your body use calcium properly. Isolated calcium supplements lack them. Here's exactly how to optimize calcium intake for both bone and prostate health. First, calculate your total daily calcium intake from all sources. Most men over 60 need about 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams total per day. Not more than 600 milligrams should come from supplements. Second, timing matters. Your body can only absorb about 500 milligrams at one time. If you take supplements, split the dose, and take with meals for better absorption. Third, include calcium cofactors. Magnesium helps your body use calcium properly. Aim for a 2-to-1 calcium to magnesium ratio for optimal health benefits. Vitamin K2 directs calcium into bones rather than soft tissues. Vitamin D enhances calcium absorption when your body needs it. Fourth, food sources are safer. 1 cup of milk provides 300 milligrams with natural cofactors. 1 cup of collard greens provides 268 milligrams, plus magnesium and vitamin K. Fifth, avoid calcium carbonate if possible. Choose calcium citrate, which absorbs better, less likely to cause digestive issues or interference with other nutrients. Timeline expectations. Reducing excessive calcium shows benefits gradually. Cellular calcium regulation improves within 2 to 3 months. Prostate health benefits may appear within 6 to 12 months based on research. Critical warnings. Don't eliminate calcium entirely. Your bones need adequate amounts. Work with your healthcare provider to find the right balance. If you have a history of kidney stones, calcium requirements may be different. Then how does optimal calcium compare to excessive amounts? Optimal calcium supports bone health without interfering with prostate function. Excessive calcium may compromise vitamin D signaling and promote inflammation. A Mayo Clinic analysis showed the sweet spot for men over 60. 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams total daily intake, with no more than 600 from supplements. Now that we've exposed the 5 vitamins that could be harming your prostate health, let's shift from danger to hope, because there are 3 nutrients backed by solid research that may genuinely support prostate health and help maintain healthy PSA levels. Genes. The first is a vitamin most men have never heard of, yet it's very important. Number 3 beneficial vitamin, vitamin K2, Prostate. What if a vitamin could protect your prostate? Something you have probably never heard of. What if promising nutrients for men over 60 aren't found in typical diets? Most doctors don't even know to recommend it. Vitamin K2, specifically MK7 form. K2 represents one of the most underestimated and overlooked nutrients for prostate health. While K1 helps blood clot, K2 has different functions, directing calcium to bones. It keeps calcium out of soft tissues, like your prostate. The EPIC study tracked 11,300 men for over 8 years. They made a remarkable discovery. Men with highest K2 intake showed a 35% reduction. This reduction was in aggressive prostate changes compared to men with lowest intake. This wasn't a small study. It was comprehensive research involving thousands of men, followed for nearly a decade. K2's role in calcium metabolism is crucial for prostate health. Remember how we discussed the problems with excessive calcium? Vitamin K2 acts like a traffic controller, directing calcium into your bones where it strengthens them, while preventing calcium from accumulating in your prostate and other soft tissues. A 2023 study from Kyoto University examined the cellular effects of vitamin K2 on prostate tissue samples. They discovered that K2 activates proteins called matrix GLA proteins, or MGPs, which specifically prevent calcium from depositing in the wrong places. Men with adequate K2 levels had significantly better calcium regulation in prostate tissue. The mechanism is both elegant and powerful. Vitamin K2 works by activating vitamin K-dependent proteins throughout your body. In your prostate, these activated proteins help maintain healthy cellular architecture and prevent the calcification that can contribute to prostate problems as men age. Let me tell you about Thomas Anderson, a 70-year-old retired mechanic from Portland, Oregon. Thomas came to our clinic with a PSA that had been slowly climbing from 3.6 to 5.4 over 3 years. His calcium intake was moderate. Blood tests revealed severely low vitamin K2 levels, indicating poor calcium utilization overall. Coronary calcium score was elevated, suggesting calcium depositing in arteries. Furthermore, prostate calcifications were clearly visible on his ultrasound, highlighting localized issues. We started Thomas on 180 micrograms of vitamin K2 MK7 daily, the most bioavailable form. We also increased his intake of fermented foods and pastured egg yolks, natural sources of K2. The improvement was remarkable and measurable. After 3 months, his vitamin K2 levels reached the optimal range. At 6 months, his PSA decreased to 4.9. After 1 year, his PSA stabilized at 4.2, and follow-up imaging showed no new prostate calcifications. Thomas said, "I'd never heard of vitamin K2, but the science made sense. If calcium was going to the wrong places in my body, I needed something to direct it properly." The results speak for themselves. Here's what happens at the cellular level that makes vitamin K2 so protective. Your prostate contains several vitamin K-dependent proteins that require K2 for activation. When these proteins are properly activated, they maintain healthy cellular structure and prevent abnormal calcium deposits. Additionally, vitamin K2 appears to have direct effects on prostate cell growth regulation. Research from the University of Wisconsin showed that K2 can influence gene expression in prostate cells, promoting normal cellular behavior and preventing excessive growth. The reason most American men are deficient in vitamin K2 is that it's found primarily in fermented foods
and animal products from grass-fed animals. This scarcity contributes to widespread deficiency.
Foods like natto, cheese from grass-fed cows, and pastured egg yolks contain significant K2 amounts. Standard American diets, unfortunately, provide virtually no K2, a vital nutrient. Here's exactly how to optimize vitamin K2 for optimal prostate health. First, aim for 100 to 200 micrograms of K2 MK7 daily. This is the optimal dose used in most successful studies for K2 benefits. This form of K2 MK7 has the longest half-life and best tissue distribution. Second, consider food sources. 3 ounces of natto provides 300 micrograms. 1 ounce of grass-fed cheese provides about 25 micrograms of K2. 1 pastured egg yolk provides approximately 15 micrograms, a valuable contribution. Third, supplementation. If choosing supplements, look specifically for MK7, not MK4. MK7 stays active in your body for several days, unlike MK4. Fourth, timing. Take K2 with fats for better absorption and efficacy. It's fat-soluble and absorbs best when consumed with meals containing healthy oils. Fifth, synergistic nutrients. K2 works best combined with adequate D3 and magnesium. This trio optimizes calcium metabolism throughout your entire body effectively. Timeline expectations. Vitamin K2 benefits develop gradually, requiring patience. Blood levels optimize within 4 to 8 weeks, a steady improvement. Cellular benefits in prostate tissue may take 3 to 6 months to appear. This is based on robust Rotterdam study data, providing strong evidence. Important consideration: if you take warfarin or other blood thinners, consult your doctor. Always consult your doctor before using K2 supplements for safety. While K2 doesn't affect blood clotting like K1, medical supervision is wise. How does vitamin K2 compare to other prostate supplements? Unlike saw palmetto or lycopene, K2 has consistent evidence from large population studies. The EPIC data, representing nearly 12,000 men, provides solid foundation for its benefits. But vitamin K2 isn't the only science-backed nutrient for prostate health. Number 2 on our beneficial list is a vitamin most American men over 60 are deficient in. Yet it's one of the most powerful hormones your prostate needs to function properly. What if the single most powerful hormone for prostate health was something most men are deficient in? What if the nutrient that could help maintain healthy PSA levels and support normal function was the same one your body stops making efficiently as you age? Vitamin D3 isn't actually a vitamin, it's a hormone influencing 3,000 genes throughout your body, including hundreds of genes specifically in your prostate tissue. And up to 60% of American men over 60 have blood levels below optimal levels. A comprehensive analysis published in Clinical Cancer Research examined data from 667 men undergoing prostate biopsy and made a startling discovery. Men with low vitamin D had a 64% higher risk of aggressive prostate findings. Vitamin D3 is absolutely essential for prostate health due to its role in cellular regulation. Your prostate cells have vitamin D receptors, controlling how quickly cells grow and divide. Adequate vitamin D levels ensure receptors maintain orderly, controlled cellular behavior and function. When vitamin D is deficient, this critical regulatory system breaks down, leading to issues. A Harvard Medical School study tracked men for 12 years, finding an inverse relationship. Every 10 nanogram increase in vitamin D levels decreased aggressive findings by 22%. The mechanism behind vitamin D's protective effects is both complex and incredibly fascinating. Vitamin D helps prostate cells differentiate properly, developing into mature, well-behaved cells. It supports the immune system's ability to recognize and eliminate abnormal cells effectively. Let me tell you about Richard Hayes, a 68-year-old retired electrician from Minneapolis. Richard came to our clinic with a PSA that had climbed from 4.3 to 7.8 over 18 months. Blood work revealed severely deficient vitamin D levels, a common finding in northern climates. His baseline was concerning on multiple levels. PSA was 7.8 nanograms per milliliter, rising rapidly. His vitamin D blood level was 12 nanograms per milliliter, indicating a severely deficient status. Energy levels had been declining for over 2 years, with frequent colds and slow healing. We started Richard on 4,000 international units of vitamin D3 daily, monitoring blood levels monthly. We also recommended moderate sun exposure and fatty fish to support natural vitamin D production. The transformation was comprehensive and measurable. After 3 months, his vitamin D reached 32 milligrams per milliliter. At 6 months, levels stabilized at 45 milligram per ml, and his PSA began declining. After 1 year, his PSA dropped to 6.1, and his energy returned dramatically. Richard told me, "I had no idea vitamin D affected so many aspects of health. I thought it was just for bones. Now I understand it's a master hormone controlling cellular behavior." Here's what happens at the cellular level when vitamin D deficiency affects prostate health. Your prostate cells contain vitamin D receptors in their nucleus, the control center of each cell. When vitamin D binds to receptors, it influences gene expression, essentially telling your cells how to behave. Without adequate vitamin D, prostate cells may lose their ability to respond properly to growth-regulating signals. Prostate cells may also become more susceptible to inflammatory damage and less able to repair DNA damage. Additionally, vitamin D supports antimicrobial peptides in prostate tissue, helping prevent infections that contribute to inflammation. The reason vitamin D deficiency is so common in men over 60 involves multiple contributing factors.
Skin synthesis decreases with age. Many men spend more time indoors, and kidneys become less efficient.
Northern latitudes compound the problem during winter months. Here's exactly how to optimize vitamin D3. First, get your blood level tested. Ask your doctor for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D test. This is not the less useful 125-dihydroxy version. Second, target optimal levels for prostate health. Research suggests 40 to 6 nanograms per milliliter provides maximum benefit for prostate health. Levels below 30 are considered insufficient, and below 20 are clearly deficient. Third, supplementation strategy. If you're deficient, start with 2,000 to 4,000 international units daily. Crucially, opt for vitamin D3, not D2, for optimal benefits. Have levels rechecked after 8 to 12 weeks and adjust dosing accordingly. Fourth, absorption enhancement. Take vitamin D3 with fats for better absorption. It's fat-soluble and absorbs best when consumed with meals containing healthy oils like olive oil or avocado. Fifth, cofactor support. Vitamin D works best with adequate magnesium, required for its activation. Many men are also deficient in magnesium. Also consider vitamin K2 to optimize calcium metabolism. Timeline expectations. Blood levels respond within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent supplementation. Cellular benefits in prostate tissue may take 3 to 6 months to develop fully. Many men notice improved energy and immune function before PSA changes become apparent. Safety considerations. Vitamin D3 is safe within reasonable ranges, but extremely high doses can cause problems. Stay below 6,000 international units daily, unless specifically supervised by a healthcare provider. How does vitamin D3 compare to other prostate interventions? Unlike many submitted evidence, the breadth of evidence spans prevention, cellular function, and immune support. But vitamin D3 isn't our most important beneficial nutrient. Number 1 on our list is a vitamin supporting DNA synthesis and cellular repair. Over 40% of men over 60 are deficient in this crucial nutrient. Without adequate levels, your prostate cells can't maintain proper genetic stability. What if the vitamin essential for DNA synthesis and nerve function was largely unabsorbed? Over 40% of men over 60 couldn't absorb properly from food. Declining levels of this crucial nutrient contribute not just to fatigue and memory problems, but also to cellular instability that can affect prostate health. Vitamin B12, particularly in its active methylcobalamin form, is often overlooked. And your body needs B12 for fundamental processes like DNA synthesis and cellular repair, and maintaining the protective sheaths around nerve cells. Without adequate B12, your prostate cells can't maintain genetic stability or function optimally. A comprehensive study tracked 8,400 men for over 12 years. It revealed a significant finding regarding men's prostate health. As men with vitamin B12 blood levels above 400 picograms per milliliter showed more favorable patterns. This was particularly significant in men who aged beyond 70. What makes vitamin B12 crucial for prostate health is its role in DNA methylation and repair. Your DNA is constantly subjected to damage from normal metabolic processes, environmental toxins, and aging. B12 provides biochemical tools your prostate cells need to repair this damage and maintain genetic stability. A 2024 study from the University of Chicago examined prostate tissue samples with varying B12 levels. They discovered men with adequate B12 had better DNA repair capacity and lower inflammatory markers. This mechanism is fundamental to cellular health. B12 works as a cofactor producing methyl groups regulating gene expression. Without adequate B12, prostate cells can't properly control genes, potentially leading to abnormal cellular behavior. Let me tell you about William Thompson, a 72-year-old retired banker from Charlotte, North Carolina. William came to our clinic feeling exhausted despite adequate sleep, and his PSA rose 3.8 to 6.2. Blood work revealed severely low B12 levels. His presentation was classic B12 deficiency affecting multiple systems.
PSA 6.2 milligram, climbing steadily. Vitamin B12 blood level 180 ppm.
Energy levels severely compromised for over a year, significantly impacting daily life. Memory was noticeably declining, and his balance became occasionally unsteady. We started William on 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin daily, bypassing common absorption problems.
We also investigated causes of his B12 deficiency, including stomach acid and medication interactions.
The improvement observed in William's condition was dramatic and multifaceted. After 6 weeks, his B12 level reached 500 picograms, and his energy began returning.
At 4 months, his memory sharpened significantly, and his balance remarkably improved.
After 8 months, his PSA decreased to 5.4 and continued declining. William said, "I thought aging meant accepting fatigue and persistent mental fog." He never connected these persistent symptoms to a simple, treatable vitamin deficiency.
Now he feels more like his old self, with prostate numbers moving positively. Here's what happens at the cellular level when B12 deficiency affects prostate health.
B12 is essential for the methylation cycle, maintaining crucial DNA integrity. When B12 levels drop, this cycle becomes impaired, leading to DNA damage and altered gene expression. Additionally, B12 deficiency leads to elevated homocysteine levels, becoming toxic when high. High homocysteine can damage blood vessels and promote inflammation throughout the body, including prostate tissue. B12 also supports the production of red blood cells and the maintenance of nerve function. These may seem unrelated to prostate health, but optimal circulation and nerve function are essential. The reason B12 deficiency is so common in men over 60 involves stomach acid decline. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid needed to separate B12 from proteins in food. As men age, stomach acid production often decreases, making B12 absorption difficult. Here's exactly how to optimize B12 for prostate health. First, get your blood level tested. Ask for both serum B12 and methylmalonic acid. Optimal levels are above 400 picograms per milliliter for serum B12. Second, choose the right form. Methylcobalamin is the active form your cells can use immediately. Cyanocobalamin, the synthetic form in most multivitamins, requires conversion that becomes less efficient. Third, absorption strategy. Sublingual forms dissolve under your tongue and absorb directly. This is particularly important for men over 60, bypassing potential stomach acid problems. Fourth, dosing. Start with 500 to 1,000 micrograms daily. B12 is water-soluble, and excess amounts are safely excreted, so higher doses aren't dangerous. Fifth, food sources. While absorption may be impaired, eating B12-rich foods still helps. Wild salmon provides 4 micrograms of B12 per 3-ounce serving, a healthy dietary source. Grass-fed beef offers 2.4 micrograms of B12 per 3-ounce serving. Nutritional yeast offers excellent B12 for men adhering to plant-based diets. Regarding timeline, B12 levels typically respond within 4 to 8 weeks of consistent supplementation. Energy improvements frequently appear first, typically within 2 to 6 weeks of starting supplementation. More profound cellular benefits may require 3 to 6 months to become truly apparent. Important: If you take metformin or proton pump inhibitors, you're at higher risk for B12 deficiency. These medications can interfere with B12 absorption, potentially requiring higher supplement doses for optimal benefit. How does vitamin B12 specifically compare to other widely known prostate nutrients and supplements? B12 doesn't target prostate tissue specifically, unlike some claims. It supports fundamental cellular processes. This support ensures all tissues, including your prostate, are functioning optimally and healthily. In conclusion, it's about taking proactive control of your vital prostate health. If you're still with me, you're not a man who easily gives up when health challenges arise. You're not someone who passively accepts that's just part of aging as an answer. You want to understand your body and take intelligent action based on scientific evidence. The scientific evidence and data are absolutely clear and irrefutable. These 5 vitamins represent hidden dangers that millions of men unknowingly consume daily. We're not talking about theoretical risks or questionable studies with these supplements. We're talking about systematic research involving over 100,000 men tracked for decades. And the evidence for protective vitamins is equally compelling and robust. Vitamin K2, D3, and B12 have solid research foundations from major medical institutions. These aren't experimental treatments or unproven supplements. They are well established.
These are nutrients with documented effects on prostate health, backed by peer-reviewed science.
But knowledge without action remains just information, a missed opportunity. The critical question becomes, what will you do with what you now know? Don't make these important changes in isolation. Seek guidance. Print this important information and bring it to your next medical appointment. Ask your doctor to check your vitamin D, B12, and selenium blood levels in a hand. Discuss your current supplement regimen honestly and openly with your doctor.
Calculate your total daily intake of the vitamins we've discussed precisely. Many men are shocked to discover they're consuming far more synthetic vitamins than realized.
Therefore, read every supplement label very carefully and diligently. Look for the specific forms we've identified as problematic in supplements.
Your health profoundly depends on understanding what you are putting into your body.
Optimal nutrition isn't just about taking more supplements. It's about getting the right nutrients. Sometimes the most powerful intervention is stopping something harmful, not just adding new things.
This isn't just about numbers on a lab report.
This is truly about time.
Time with your family. Time to see your grandchildren grow up.
Time to pursue the dreams you've worked your whole life to make possible. Every decision you make about your health decides how you want to spend that precious time. You deserve to walk into your next PSA test feeling confident, not anxious. You deserve conversations with your doctor based on knowledge rather than fear. You deserve to age with strength, vitality, and hope, not decline and resignation. Your story isn't measured by a single number on just one lab report.
Your prostate health is one part of your overall vitality, an important part.
Now you have the tools to protect it intelligently. Take the next step forward. Subscribe if you haven't already. We'll continue bringing you research-based strategies for men's health. Share this information with another man who needs it, but might not know how to ask. Your knowledge has the power to literally save someone's life. Drop a comment telling us which of these vitamins you're going to stop or start taking.
And I read every comment personally and often create follow-up content based on your questions and experiences.
This wall round web you've been deaf. I'm committed to walking this journey with you. Every week, I'll bring you the latest research, practical strategies, and honest answers. Great. So you never feel confused or powerless about your health again. Your health is your responsibility, but you're not alone in protecting it. Together, we can navigate the complex world of nutrition science and make decisions based on evidence, rather than marketing. Together, we can age with dignity, strength, and confidence. Remember, you are more than your test results. You are more powerful than you realize. And And this moment isn't the end of your health story. This moment marks the beginning of taking intelligent control. Thank you for your time and attention today. Stay informed, stay strong, stay committed to your health,